Hey guys, this is the fourth installment of the story of Sandy Point, a production of the Sandy Point Heritage Society. My name is King Socrates, and today I'm presenting the fourth segment of an interview done with teacher Anne Levan last year at age 99. Now, she celebrates her 100th birthday on the 24th of this month, just 2 days from now. So, please enjoy as she takes us down memory lane, as she recalls it, from her childhood to present time. Yes, we were talking about an outing where you're coming to St. Paul's.
So we're coming to St. Paul's,
yes.
And that time, St. Paul's and Sandy Point.
And some little
right. And Stanley one was very conceited.
I know him.
But I changed my seat immediately from the end seat to the middle. I went and sat down because they started throwing stones in St. Paul's, you see. And we inside asking him not to stay, continue going.
Continue because he stopped.
He was so conceited.
Yeah.
And so they put the stones on the truck. Anyway, we got out with no harms, and that was it. So.
Let me speak about that for a minute, because when I did that activity, church outings, the school where we went through the island, we went to Keon, and then coming through
which school you mean? The day school?
Oh,
the Sunday school.
Sunday school. Thanks for correcting me. Coming through St. Paul's, Newton Guam, we got bottom stones.
Yeah, started in St. Paul's.
So even at your time going to school and the church activity, they did that. You have any reason, you have any kind of rationale as to why that was happening, even way back then?
Well, I told myself that Sandy Point and St. Paul's at loggerhead. Because they always, there's always some riot and something other thing.
From way back when, and later on it took on political overtones. And we call the Honorable Constance Mitchum
right.
Sunday afternoon coming in from a meeting over there where there was stoned. She was injured, Richard Cade was
I
injured.
remember.
So this goes way back.
Right. But St. Paul's people never did act as if they're too civilized at that time. They'll do anything. But to me, they're much better now.
I recall in school, anyway, but we grew up and we had a little rivalry, but it was interesting to note that even way back then they had that kind of activity. Every time they passed through, you had the trucks, the wooden trucks with the caps in the back.
Right.
And when you say move from the end went to the center, there was a center bench.
I know.
In the truck.
Well, I will sit down there after we reach in St. Paul's. I know what to expect.
So Mr. Isaac, what about the truck?
No, but this truck I'm talking about, I think Mr. Mack
owned
the truck.
Yes.
Right.
His name was also mentioned yesterday by Mr. Ferry.
Arnold Mack.
Arnold Mack.
Vinetta's father.
Yes, Miss McIntosh's wife lived right in the next hospital. They had two stores, or two
right.
shops, so to speak.
That is Vinetta's mother, I went to see her last Sunday because she's one of my best friends. I went with the men's fellowship.
Yes, with Wilshire, you mentioned?
Yes, Wilshire and they. And they had a really good time with her, but she was expecting to go to see about her eye. Monday, just gone.
Okay.
Well, she called me and she told me she was successful.
That is good.
Right, that's good. So she's all right now. So yes.
So you still have your friends, you still have your respect, of course.
Oh.
And it's really an honor to be able to sit with you. And you're 99 years old, you have tremendous recall. That's a blessing.
Oh.
Tremendous recall.
Right.
And I could only guess or subscribe it to the fact that you had an active mind as a teacher. You were well read.
Right.
An active mind helps you in the latter years. So we are happy with that.
Yeah.
This
all right
will form
so
part of records. We were trying to get as much of the history of Sandy Point from persons who would have lived through those years, etc. What's your recollection of Victory and the commercial activity that took place when boats used to land there with cargo and stuff like that?
Well, all I know about not Victory in Victory
But Pompey.
before you go in Pompey. I used to go down there with my mother. She go down there to get fish. So I will just accompany her.
Yes.
You know. That time, people used to come from Depe or Old Road to get fish to go home to sell them.
To sell again?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So sometimes I go down. Instead of leaving me at home now, I go with her.
I will call the station boats, they're bringing up Jackson
Yes.
Station.
Right. And people used to go, that's why after a time we had quite a lot of people from Fig Tree living in Statia.
Okay.
Right. Some of them make friends, you know, men and women. Some the ladies want to told them men down there to live and things like that. I remember once I went down there, but I went by boat.
Down to Statia?
Was so scared because a friend of mine was getting married.
Okay.
And she asked my mother to let me come down, so I went and things like that. You might remember a little of what I'm talking about. You remember Pansy and they?
Of course, Masham?
No, Pansy Phillip down they got.
Oh yes,
Right.
yes.
She had an older sister named
Olga.
Right, Olga was getting married. So she asked my mother to let me come down, so I went. That was the first and last time I went to Statia.
Do you recall how old you were then? Since you had to ask your mother's permission?
Yeah, to go to Statia. So they provided somewhere to stay.
Accommodations?
And that's how I got to Statia.
So apart from Statia, you went to Antigua? Any weather travels?
Yeah, I went up the States for 3 months. But you know, over there, I sometimes I laugh and I remember different things that took place at the States. You can't be stupid when you go to a place like the States. So, one day, a young man, I crossed in to go where I was staying. He come and he hugged me. You know, this time he didn't know me. And I don't know him. And I didn't say a word. No more than he just hugged me and tight, you know. And then he let me go. I said, good afternoon. And after he let me go, I kept walking.
That was it?
Yes.
You didn't
So
panic?
what you going to argue for? You know, and you're in the States.
So what did he say?
Well, he didn't say
He said nothing at all?
No. Well, it happened to me twice.
You're very huggable.
Huh?
You're very huggable.
Never what?
You're very huggable.
Oh, so
way.
I went to cinema one night with the people I was staying. And while I was standing up with them, a fella came up and he hugged me up. But the woman said, Miss Ann, don't say nothing. That's all. You know, the woman with whom I was staying.
Yes.
He said, Miss Ann, don't say nothing. So he just come up, he hugged me up, he gave me a kiss and he went. that was it. We walk and argue and say, me I know him.
And you're sure that's it? Okay.
And then the woman done warm, he said, don't say anything.
Interesting.
Right? And he went, but I had a lot of experiences, but just like we may take them on.
That's interesting.
And
You're very huggable.
and then when I went to Tortola there about 2 years or so, I went to church. So when I came out church, this lady, but I didn't know her, she looked something about her age, like how she looked there. And she came and she was talking to me. Another fast-mouthed woman came along, she said, well, she don't talk to Harvey, and she don't know you, and she talk to you. Anyway, the girl now don't make a comment, and she kept on talking to me. And that's how I got to know she was the governor's daughter.
Oh.
And then she said, what work you do? I told her, well, I'm a teacher and I teach English. She said, I thought so. So she heard me speak because I spoke in the church. And you know who was down there? The same Azad from up the alley. Wilson. And you know, he wanted to show off. So after I was finished speaking now, he stood up, he said, yes, and she's a teacher. You know, and go on and do it. Just like Azad. And then it so happened the Monday now I was on my way to Tortola because this happened in Virgin Gorda. So the governor's daughter going down now to go to the pier. And she stopped to talk to me. The woman said, funny, because she don't talk to us who she know. And she talking to you. Anyway, she gave me a piece of smile, the girl now, yes. The governor's daughter. And she went and but anyway, I don't have any problem.
But even here, in St. Kitts, I've seen you walking around Bastille. And the folks who know you always give you your salutations, right. But you're not, as I recall, you were never a person to stand along the side of the street and gossip and, hi, good morning, this, and just step.
But I'm going to give you a joke now. It so happened quite a while now. Almost every time I go into town, I happen to cross with a lady whom I did not know. She was on that side of the road, on the sidewalk, and I on the other side. And she would say, hello, how is your husband? How is your husband? Because the first time she asked me about husband and children, I tell her I have 4 children.
She thinks you know
I don't know where they be.
She thinks you know you.
All right. So she said, hello, what about you and the children? And I would say, they're all right. But this time I couldn't keep in the laughter. So she catch me smiling. She said, well, why are you laughing? When you're not calling somebody other daughter from Dominica. I said, I thought you were taking me for the wrong person.
Okay, she was.
And that was it. But I don't know, I had a good life so far.
Yes.
Everybody like me,
and a lot of people look to you with respect and reverence.
And even in the school and everything. And when I started to teach first, they sent me Old Road. I didn't stay down there for long. Went back to Sandy Point and did most of my teaching with Martha.
Who?
Delaney.
Yes, I remember her.
She's kind of like,
I remember her.
She liked to lash.
I got a few from her.
Right.
This is the girls' school, yeah?
Yes, man.
That's where she taught me.
Right, that's where she was.
Boy,
well, why I got slicks from her? Because he need handy, so I sent the mother. One day, she was teaching us maths, and with her forwardness, she marked my thing wrong from top to bottom, and I'm ashamed. The same speech she handed me book, I tear out the leaf, and I scratched up and I tried to.
So how do you know that she wasn't right?
How I know what?
That she wasn't right. She marked you wrong. She's a teacher.
She marked this wrong. Well, she hadn't to. I still would argue she hadn't to mark it so big. From top to bottom. Well, I admitted that it was wrong enough. But I talking about Cicely and the mother, and afterwards we became friends. And she marked it wrong from top to bottom. And the same time she handed me back a tear it out. And I scratched the punch right way. Well, I saw her going up the aisle of the school. That is a girls' school, now she went to...
The headmaster or the mistress?
When I look, I see the woman coming down, the headmistress. She came, she said, and stand up, just so. They call me, and when I stood up now, she said, where the leaf you pull out the book? I said, I have it. But teacher, just like me, where I was spoken from small, but teacher, you think she right, start talking, You think she right to mark it wrong from top to bottom, and all my friends backing me up, Some laughing and some saying you're right. Well, I know I was quite going to school, I wasn't rude, but me ain't taking nothing. Me. And just like how she marked a tear it out. And so Miss Locker came down and she said, I must stand up. Well, I stand up because I know where she come from. And then she asked me why I tear out the leaf. I said, teacher, do you think she was right to tear it, to mark it from top to bottom? And she said she didn't want to give me the right in the presence of the teacher.
No, that would be
so, right, that's it. So she said, well, you were very wrong to do that, but I'm going to let you off this time. You hear how she put it?
So
that is if I do it again.
Diplomatic.
So I get off, man. Well, I always had friends in class, man. This is the other friend from Clary Hill. she used to bring things, and we would sit down together, and sometimes she would pass it by this way. I like apple and so.
Yes.
And she give me a piece of apple, man. So I bite a piece of it and I put the rest by me side, but man, now the teacher don't notice that. Right. And then she didn't say anything to us, but she went up to the head teacher. When I look, Annie Locker, she came down, she said, the girls were eating apple. This time, when I see her coming down, you know.
You didn't ship it?
I don't know. She coming because of that. And me give me friend peace. But I felt the same, ashamed and sorry. She get licks too, but she really never eat. The teacher said, the girls were eating apple. And I said, teacher, I don't have any. But Prudence, she didn't Prudence from Cleveland.
So she got?
I mean, but because teacher found her
With it?
with it, I had none.
Follow with the evidence?
And so both of us fell out. We weren't friends after that. But a good time afterwards, you know, we came back friends again.
What about when you were...
But you come like you know everything, whenever what?
When you became a teacher, how did you deal with the discipline of your students?
But surprisingly, they ain't give me no trouble.
Really?
Yeah, no trouble.
So you
I get it because
instruct-
every child in the class like teacher and and thing and
You had no obstinate children?
so I only one boy, and he sat by the door. But you know, when he see me, he will laugh. His name was Samuel Davis from St. Paul's, but he was very dunce, you know. But he used to, you know, much yes and thing. So he got to like me, and he would make sure he sit by the door. So when I come, I must pass him first. So when I go, I say, hello, Samuel. He said, morning, teacher. He was very polite. One teacher, and go and sit down and everything. And who tell you, nobody else could clean the board but you know.
Okay.
You dare not to go take up the duster. He pull it from you and he scuff you. And he going to say, you well now me just clean the board. You know, those Empire's fellows, they were bad, you know. And he knock him a scuff, man.
He wasn't clean himself to you?
But apart from that, I had no problem with no child at all, neither down in the school or the high school. I went to Antigua, a teacher up there, even the little boys from prison, get to like me. One come tell me because me must they look stupid to him now. He said he not do nothing. But they send him down there. I said that again. He said, but miss me ain't do anything. I said, you had to do something. Right away, he said, his mother and father gone away. And the lady that they left him with sent him down, they sent him to the school, oh, excuse, you know. Anyway, I had no regret. Went up the church in the choir and everything from a small girl and everything.
Okay. 2 years ago, when you were 19,
when you come like you done had things, all right, go ahead.
you received a national award
Oh yes.
for your...
But you don't know how I saw Tapley and I good friends since then, you know.
Since then?
Oh.
You're a treasure.
When he see me, they say, girl, I don't know last I see you.
It's treasure. And that was in honor of your contribution
To education, community work, and some three things. I must ask one
you were
for
wine and
them.
dine at government quarters? You were wine and dine at government quarters?
How you mean, yeah. I can't think me and a dog, you know.
Well deserved.
Yeah, so I saw Tapley and I are good friends, man. You see, apart from that, I used to, both of us used to work together at the government house.
Yes.
Because, you remember when I worked there?
No.
When I used to be down there. Now when I say work, you know, we used to have meetings there.
Okay.
CXC meetings, we used to call
Okay.
it. And that way, so I had a good time, man. Even in teaching, if I say any child or children ever gave me trouble, I'll be lying.
Okay.
I go to Antigua the same way. They make him row, they want to come in the car and they don't know me, you know? So
There is this whole concept that we should wait until our elders would have made the contribution, pass on to give them the flowers. And I appreciate the fact that you were recognized for your contribution and for the respect you have brought to the teaching industry. So that was episode 4, where we featured for the last 3 segments of interviews done with teacher Anne Riven last year at age 99. And as I said, on Thursday, the 24th of this month, she'll be celebrating, God's willing, her 100th birthday. So thank you for viewing. Thank you for sharing with us as we celebrate with our centenarian teacher, Angeline Riven. Thank you for viewing. See you in upcoming episodes of The Story of Sandy Point.